Welcome back people. In this video, we will see about selectors in CSS. In previous videos, we used the element name such as h1, body, hr, image, etc. as CSS selector. It selects the element based on the HTML tag. Now, in this video, we will see about the other things that we can use as selectors in order to make more specific changes to your website. So we have the icon of supporting tech in our website. We also have added another image of a heart and given it a background color of yellow. If you go to our CSS style sheet and look at the image tag, you can see the background color is yellow and the height is 200 pixels for both the images. Now, both the images have similar background color property. What if we want to change the background color of heart and don't want to disturb the supporting tech image? If we want to change the color in image tag, then the change will be made to every single image. But that is not what we want, right? I want the heart to have white background color. So what we will do is use class selector. Let's see how to use this. First, let's go to index.html. Here we have the image tag for the heart symbol. So what we will do is add an attribute called class and name it as HEART heart. So instead of coloring all the images to yellow, we will use the class selector instead of image tag to select a particular class. But before that, let's comment the image tag. Go to CSS style sheet. Before that, let's save this first and go to style sheet. So we really don't have to comment this because the class and ID selectors overrides the tag selector. What we will do is create three sections. So tag selector is a section, class selector is another section, ID selector is one another section, and this is what we use to comment in CSS. So inside the class selector, we will write to use a class as a selector, use a dot in front of the class name. This is how you use a class selector. A dot and the class name followed by the property and the value. Go to our website and refresh. As we mentioned in the class heart, now the background color is white. That is what we wanted, right? So this is how you use class. We have another type of selector called ID. So let's go to index.html. Inside h1 tag, let's add an attribute called ID and give it a value called a heading. Let's save this. Go to our style sheet and so in order to select an ID, you give the hash symbol. Even though h1 element specifies the color red over here, the class and ID selectors are more specific and it override the tag name selector. And so h1 will now be in blue color. Let's save this, go to our website and refresh. So as I already said, now the h1 is in blue color. So now we know about two type of selector. One is class and another one is ID. So when should we use the ID and when to use class? The difference is you can have only one instance of an ID inside a single page. That means you cannot reuse the ID selector multiple times within the same page. ID must be unique in a page, but you can use the class as much as you want, which means you can use class to relate or group elements that are all going to behave in a particular style. So classes are used to style a group of items and ID to style a single item. So we already have a class name heart. So let's go to paragraph tag and give it a class name hut and save this. Go to our website, then again. So now the paragraph also has a white background. That is because the class is applied to the heart symbol as well as the paragraph. Let's erase this now. So another difference between ID and class is we can have as many ID but only one instance of a particular ID. As we already said about this before. Another difference is that any HTML element, say the image tag, can have more than one class, but it can only have one ID. So what does that mean? So let's go to our style.css, create another class. Let's call it circular. So now we have a class called circular and the property border radius and the value of 100%. Let's save this. Go to our index.html and give our second image two class values. One is heart and another one is circular. Now let's save this. As you can see, we have multiple class values inside the class attribute. When you go to our website and refresh, you can see the circular class is being applied to the heart symbol. Now, you cannot do the same thing with ID. A particular tag can have only one ID, unlike classes. You cannot have more than one ID for the single tag. So in real world, IDs are rarely used. People commonly use classes and tag name as selectors. We also have something called pseudo class. Let's go to our web docs. Here you can see examples of pseudo classes like link, visited, hover, and active. We can get the CSS to change based on the state. For example, link, visited, hover, and active. These are the state. State means by doing something like clicking on it or hovering your mouse over the image or something like that. These pseudo classes have a colon in front of it. As you can see here, a colon followed by the pseudo class name. You can select any HTML element, let's say image. Let's go to our code first. Go to our styles.css. Here, let's give a pseudo class hover. So now, when you hover your mouse over the image, the particular class that we specified is being applied to that. This is the use of pseudo class. I hope you understand different selectors in CSS. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe to Supporting Tech.